Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a special edition of the Bell Ringers podcast. My name is Colin Daly. I'm here with Benjamin Goldstein. And folks, it is July 31st. We are 29 minutes away from the deadline. 28 minutes away from the 6 o'clock deadline. And in the next hour that we will be spending with you, we are going to be seeing trades and trades and trades coming through, and we will be breaking down all of those live right here. Ben, I am so excited for this year's deadline. How are we feeling over there?
I mean, it has been certainly a very exciting one. Lots of big names being moved around. This has been maybe the most exciting This has been one of the most exciting deadlines in a very, very long
I
time.
agree.
And the
From a
Phillies
Phillies
have,
standpoint and from a league standpoint, I would
yeah,
say.
Phillies have done a good amount, and a lot of things happening around the league. Good for baseball, and good for the contending teams as well. There's a lot of them in 2025.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what are going to observe here in the next hour. The Phillies went out yesterday, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more in depth in a couple minutes here. But they went out yesterday and they go get Yohan Duran from the Minnesota Twins. Then this morning they come up with another deal with the same Minnesota Twins, the same management. They get back on the phone and they get their right-handed outfield bat and Harrison Bader. So it seems to me like the Phillies have checked off their two boxes: bullpen help and offensive help. But do you think the Phillies are done yet, Ben?
It's kind of hard to tell. By the way, for those keeping track, we'll have the latest breaking news at the bottom of the screen right there. Um, I'm not sure. It doesn't. They shouldn't be done. I feel like with this Bader trade, which we'll of course get more into, there seems some more to be desired there. Of course, Bader is a good ball player, but not a difference maker. What the Phillies are exactly looking for their outfield, I could say the bullpen is probably done, but Stephen Kwan and Luis Robert are still available right now as we speak at 5:34, and those are two that could go. So if it's going to be anything, it's going to be something big. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think Harrison Bader is going to be pushing this team in, any direction that is different from what we see now. He's a 258 hitter, 339 on base. His OPS is 778. He has 12 home runs. He can run a little bit. His defense in the outfield is solid, but I don't think that he's going to be a difference maker on this team just yet. Um, he's also been a little bit inconsistent the last few years, and even 20. I hate to say this, Ben. Um, to me, this deal reminds me a little bit too much of the Austin Hayes deal from last year, um, except it's reverse. Austin Hayes was a very good player for the years prior and was struggling when the Phillies traded for him in 2024. Bader has struggled in years prior and is seemingly having a good 2025 season. Um, Now the difference is, doesn't matter what whether Bader's 2025 is a fluke or not, as long as he keeps it up, because he's on a 1 year contract. He's gone by November. So he is truly a rental for the Phillies. So the way I see it, I'm looking at what he's doing now. And right now, he's a solid hitter. So if he can keep that up, he could be a solid addition for this team. But again, he's not the Luis Roberts or the Stephen Kwans or, some of the other guys who are on the trade block who the Phillies could be bolstering their lineup with.
Yeah, I mean, and when you look at the what the Phillies gave up for Bader, it's really not a ton. Two mid-level prospects, Henry Mendez and Jeremy Valoria. Valoria, I believe is I think it one of them. I think it's Valoria. 16 years old.
He is, yeah, that's
16.
Villiolo.
That is crazy. Bader, of course, a great defender. But like when you look at that return, is that what the Phillies are really giving up at this time? That's when you think about it, like Quan and Robert not moving. Is it because the Phillies won't give up their three guys? Of course, Painter we know is not getting moved. Aiden Miller, Justin Crawford. If this is all the Phillies are going to be giving up, and when they look for an outfielder, They're not going to get anything that's going to blow you away.
No, you're right. It's definitely not going to be anything spectacular. Like I said, it's very, very similar to the Austin Hayes deal. We actually saw, and I think we talked about this on one of our past podcasts. We actually saw people talking about the idea of bringing back Austin Hayes at this year's deadline. Um, I don't think that's a good idea for obvious reasons. He made it pretty clear that he didn't love the way he was received in Philadelphia. Um, and it's understandable why, but he also didn't perform when the Phillies needed him to. But yeah, I mean it's not gonna move the needle too much, but it's certainly an addition. It's better than Max Kepler. I'm can't wait to see the Harrison Bader has been activated. Max Kepler has been designated for assignment, but I don't know if we're gonna see that just yet.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about it. This trade for Bader really screams to me a platoon with him and Kepler. Bader hits well against left-handed pitchers. In
Yeah,
fact,
that's true.
against left-handers this
Mm.
season, he is hitting. Let's see here, 241 with a 774 OPS. Of course, anything is better than Max Kepler right now. But really, this screams platoon with how they gave him up, how much they spent on him, and just Harrison Bader being Harrison Bader. This does scream platoon. We'll see if Kepler, if they do anything with him over the next 20 minutes. But this does, and we know how Rob Thompson functions. This just screams platoon.
It does. Yeah, that's unfortunately the truth. I hope they give Bader an opportunity to be an everyday starter, but obviously I realize that now we also remember we have Kepler with a potential injury. Um, I'm not really sure what's up with that. We saw yesterday it was a left tricep strain. Um,
Yeah, was he like doing tricep extensions in the dugout during the rain delay or
I
something?
I
Like,
was hoping that he was packing his locker and he had to lift something too heavy, but it seemed like that wasn't the case. Um, which is unfortunate, I guess. Who knows? But yeah, that was really, really strange. But so is he. So what do we know? What do we know? And I'll tell you, we were talking about it during the Open, Ben. There have been some really, really interesting trades um, around the league. I mean, just stuff that I'm just blown away by. Uh, Serandy Dominguez gets traded between a doubleheader and ends up playing for the Blue Jays in game two of the doubleheader.
yeah, that
Like,
was kind of strange.
right. Like, what in the world? Um, Brian Hayes going to the Cincinnati Reds, I just didn't really anticipate that at all. I don't know why. I just saw that and I was like, what? I was more just confused.
Hmm.
Um, the Padres, who you mentioned when we were talking before this, are clear winners of the deadline. Can't even argue that. JP Sears, Ryan O'Hearn, Ramon Laureano, and Mason Miller. Also, what is it with the number of elite closers getting shifted at the deadline?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Philly's got one of those, which we'll get to in a moment. But the Mason Miller thing, kind of odd because the Athletics seem like they kind of have a bit of a future, and they
Yeah.
just traded away one of their guys that could be a main piece of that future. Mason Miller, of course, the closer, um, throws high, heat, crazy. They traded San Diego traded the number 3 prospect in baseball, Leodelis DeVries, which I did not say that first name correctly, but DeVries, shortstop, number 3 prospect in baseball. They gave up a haul for Mason Miller, which of course is Mason Miller deserves it, but for a guy that's only going to pitch one inning every other
Hmm.
day, perhaps, like that is a lot to give up for that. He's the best in the game. He's one of the best we've ever seen. He's young. He's got control, but like the Padres, what they sent away today, they seem like they're not anticipating playing baseball in like 2027, 2028. So really it's just it's tough. It's weird if you're a Padres fan because what's going on now is great. But you look at these trades today and what's going away, and it's the future doesn't look amazing. And also seeing Ramon Laureano go, I did like him for the Phillies. And of course that is not happening.
Right. So, and while we're still talking about Miller and the closers, again, like New York, both the Mets and the Yankees got elite closers, and we'll talk about the Mets a little bit more later. But the Mets go out, make a splash. They take Ryan Helsley, a flamethrower from St. Louis, and then the Yankees turn to Pittsburgh, and they get David Bednar, a seasoned elite closer, who will pitch out of the back end of their bullpen. The Phillies go out and get Yohan Duran. So it really has just been all around elite closers getting dealt from team to team. It's just I feel like a lot of times in the years past you've seen the rumors of these big names getting traded and then they don't end up going anywhere. But this year moves are actually being made. I mean, every year the one I always like to wait to see is Nolan Arenado because they've said Nolan Arenado is going to get traded the last 3 or 4 years, and they're saying it now. And we've got 18 minutes to make that happen. So,
Yeah.
well, I'm excited to see what these last now 17 minutes are going to play out to be.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see Juan Duran wear a Phillies uniform, Colin.
Yeah, I am as well. Duran has, I mean, he's ridiculous. We were talking about him a couple weeks ago. I think I misidentified his splitter, and then we looked on one of those sites. It's a splinker, and
Yeah.
that thing is disgusting. It's funny. This is a really random anecdote here, but whenever I try to explain somebody uh pitching ninja and like
Mm.
what pitching ninja or I guess Rob does on social media, the guy who I've always looked up is Duran. I've always like shown an example of like because Rob will post his stuff all the time about the fastball at 103 and then the splinker at 98 and how it has that that tail to it at the very end of the pitch there. So he is a fun pitcher to watch. He's got a really cool entrance. I'm sure you've seen it.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so
Hopefully comes in the
it's
game on Friday, and we'll get a
oh my
first taste of that
god.
entrance. I'm sure the light people at Citizens Bank Park are going crazy right now, or were going crazy when they saw that trade or saw that
Are you
trade go
kidding me,
through. Like,
Ben?
oh, you don't, yeah. For those listening on
God.
the podcast apps, just put up Royals are trading for Bailey Falter. So 2022 National League champion there. But yeah, going back to Duran, traded Mick Gable and Eduardo Tait for him. I want to talk about Tait a little bit more. The biggest part about this trade for me, of course, you're not just getting you're getting the flamethrower in the back of your bullpen that the Phillies are definitely going to need in September and October. But you're getting Duran. He's under control for another 2 years after this. So you have Juan Duran for 2.5 years essentially
Hmm.
with this trade, and it just works out so perfectly. You don't give up a ton. Taith will hurt you in a couple years, but you got Duran for 2 years. You get exactly what you need right now. You got the flamethrower in the back end of the bullpen that will do serious damage, and he's proved he can do it in October as well. He's not afraid of the moment. And I mean, this is huge. One of the best trades we have seen the Phillies make in a long time. Hopefully it works out, but right now, I mean, it's just this is great stuff. And Duran will stick with number 59 as well. Rob Thompson is changing his number to 49.
Oh, that's nice of him, isn't it?
Ah,
Would you look at him? I'm proud of our guy. Proud of Topper.
there you go.
Now, however, the Phillies will have to spend a little money on him. He is arbitration eligible the next 2 years. Duran, that is. So not Thompson. I don't think he gets arbitration. So the Phillies will have to lock him down with some sort of negotiated contract. Hopefully, they can last him the next 2 years before he becomes a free agent in 2028. Or maybe they'll give him an extension. Who even needs arbitration? They'll just
We'll
extend
see.
them.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Yeah, and then
And
Harrison Bader, like
Bader,
I said before, is dipping at the end of the year. So
yeah, Bader wearing number 2.
okay,
Yeah, but the Eduardo Tait is only 18. He's a catcher. So he
a
did not
nasty
have,
catcher.
yeah, he did not have, he can slam some homers, good behind the plate. He's a power catcher. So he is not going to help you in the immediate future. But when
Or the near
JT Remuto,
future.
yeah, but when JT Remuto is off the team, which is going to happen eventually, he's old. Um, Tait was going to be the guy for the Phillies, but now he gets moved. And I mean, how much money is JT Realmuto going to get this offseason? Is he going to get like 25 million a year? Like it's going to be a ridiculous overpay for JT. But the
I
Phillies did
know.
not have, they don't have a choice. Like they have no more catching depth in the minor leagues. It was only tight, and obviously that is no more. I mean, Phillies wouldn't trade Painter. The Twins wanted Andrew Painter for Duran. They probably replace him with Abel and then give a higher level prospect, which is Tait, um, for Duran. But right now, this trade looking really good for the Phils. Abel, hope with how the Twins are just fire sailing right now, it looks like Abel could get some major league time in 2025. Tait, of course, a little bit more down the road. But great trade by the Phillies. It's just it could hurt you in the catching position in a little bit.
Yeah, I mean they've got a couple other guys that are down there. Caleb Ricketts, uh, I think we've talked about him a little bit before. He could be there. Caden Hediger, who they drafted last year. Um, was that last year? I think it was. Yeah, it might have been 2 years ago. I'll have to look it up later. Um, but he might be more of a first baseman. I'll have to look at where they're playing him this year. I haven't followed the minors, and I actually haven't gotten into any of the minors games this year. But
Wow.
I mean, he's not a great hitter yet. He's still on the younger side. Um, he's 21 years old, but I don't even know how to look at defensive stats on here. This is too complicated. Oh, they're gonna make me use my typing fingers.
Yeah, some other moves going around in Major League Baseball right now. Padres just acquired Nestor Cortez. Boston Red Sox
Wow.
getting Dustin May. Sandy Alcantara will not be getting traded. He's staying put. Miguel Andujar to the Reds. Um, so some team moving around with about 11 minutes left to go. Bailey Falter got traded to the Royals. And this is Red Sox haven't done anything all day. Go out and get a starting pitcher in Dustin May, which is kind of what they need. So that's good for them.
And you said the
Uh,
Padres went out and got Cortez?
yeah, Padres
My
Nestor
God,
Cortez. Yeah,
they're
Padres
all over these deals.
Padres keep building it on, and who else is building it on? The New York Mets. They've had quite the deadline. Um,
Yeah.
and really haven't didn't lose much major league talent while they were at it. Tyler Rogers was their first move. They gave up a good amount for him in their minor
Uh-huh.
league system. A 1.80 ERA. Rogers is posted this year, and then right after the Phillies traded for Duran, they went out and got Ryan Helsley, who we know is the lights out closer. Hasn't totally been lights out in 2025, and then today they got Cedric Mullins from the Baltimore Orioles, who the Phillies were kind of rumored around a little bit, but we're not did not go out and get him. They could have packaged him and Felix Bautista. Bautista um, not available, injured, so Phillies did not make any deal with the Orioles. But Mets go out and get him. There was a rumor that they had traded for Adolis Garcia, but the guy reporting it, first of all, he spelled breaking wrong. He spelled Braking, which is not how you spell
That's
breaking,
bad. No, it's not.
and and it was an incorrect report. So no Adolis Garcia for the Mets. It doesn't look like he's getting traded anywhere. But I mean, these are three moves that totally rival what the Phillies were doing this trade deadline. They seem to come right back, right after the up.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, having Duran is definitely a better option to back under the bullpen than Rogers is. More velocity, better stuff. And even like Cedric Mullins is having a decent season. I mean, he definitely profiles as a different hitter than Harrison Bader. Bader's gonna hit for a little bit higher of an average and might not display the same power, at least, upon first glance. Whereas Cedric Mullins is the guy who's gonna hit for a low average. He only actually has 15 home runs, but he is pretty. I mean, he hits a good amount of doubles. He walks a lot. He has good plate discipline, and he can steal some bases when he gets on because he's a bit of a confusing player to profile because you don't usually see the guy who can bang a lot of extra base hits, but then also steal some bags um, and hit for a low average. It's not a combination you usually see. Um, you can see he's got 23 doubles this season, um, which despite his 229 average gives him a 721. I'm looking at the wrong year. Um, gives him a 738 OPS. Um, So I don't know. Like, do you think Mullins is going to make that much of an impact on the Mets lineup? Ben's locked in over here. Oh, there we go. I always forget you can do that.
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah,
there's your comparison. So
yeah. I mean, the
Bader's
WAR
WAR
is
two
telling
point eight. Yeah,
itself.
yeah.
Now let's just
Yeah,
play for
Bader's numbers, metrics are all higher.
Gits and Shiggles. Put Bader next to Kepler, just while we're all messing around.
Oh boy. All right. While I'm getting that, you want to tell the people about SeatGeek?
Oh, I would love to. So I think I've mentioned it once. I'll mention it again. In 2026, there's a lot coming to Philadelphia. We've got the World Cup. We've got some awesome concerts, but most importantly, we've got baseball, all-star baseball at Citizens Bank Park. And if you are looking to get there and get there for a fair price, the only acceptable place to turn to is SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the place for purchasing your tickets, and you can get $20 off your first purchase by using the code that is right at the bottom of your screen, or if you're listening to us on Apple Music or Spotify, it is Philly Sports Report with no S. That is Philly Sports Report with no S. And we just have it in that the Tampa Bay Rays are acquiring Adrian Hauser from the White Sox, just bolstering that starting pitching a little bit. We actually saw Phillies were supposed to face Adrian Hauser in their series against the White Sox. He gets pulled from that start just so they can market him a little bit more, which I was slightly surprised by. Because I thought like he's probably not going to start immediately for his new team. Why not try to showcase him with one last good start? But you see teams do that fairly often. Oh, Ben put another one in there. Taylor
Mhm.
Rogers is now. Oh my, that's terrible. That is awful.
Yeah, I
Poor guy
mean,
probably just bought an apartment.
he's with Pittsburgh for not even a day.
Now he's farther from his brother.
Yeah. There's another one. Phil Maton to the Rangers.
Oh, you got to be kidding.
Yeah.
One of my Cardinals guys is
Anyway, go. Thank you, SeatGeek, for sponsoring the Bell Ringers
yes.
show.
Thank you, SeatGeek. We appreciate it. Make
We're
sure to
home
use that
fast.
code. There's a link in the description.
There you go. So I
Oh,
mean,
here it is.
it's
Huh?
it's a tough look,
Yeah.
and to know that these two are going to be platooning, certainly hurts the eyes. But I mean, every number is better except plate appearances. So,
Right, and that's pretty meaningless. So.
and it's not particularly close either. I mean, the WAR
No.
Kepler minus zero point 0.3 WAR, like that OPS plus is 8 of 80 is pretty poor. 203 average, just not good stuff.
No, yeah, you're right. That's not going to cut it. And like I said, I hope they give him an opportunity um, to to start every day because he could be a good piece in that outfield, especially with his speed and his defense.
Meanwhile, Phillies aren't doing anything. We got 4 minutes until
Four
the deadline,
minutes, which doesn't exactly mean that they're done. A lot of times you don't see stuff come in and be confirmed um until after 6 o'clock.
which we will be around for. We will be around for a little bit after 6 o'clock.
Yep.
How about this? Two big guys. Oh, here we go. White Sox will not be trading Luis Robert
Wow.
by 6 o'clock, so that's a big domino. That's from Feinsand. That's how you say it. But that's a big domino that falls out of the Phillies, which is unfortunate. But yeah, two big ones that were not directly influenced around the Phillies. Eugenio Suarez to Seattle, where he once was. The return was fair, you could say. But yeah, him to Seattle, and then how about this? Carlos Correa
Oh my
returning to
God.
the Astros, um, which is Minnesota blowing it up. And there was only one place Correa wanted to go, it sounds like, and that was back to Houston.
I have no words. I mean, when I saw that, I just laughed. Oh God. It just, well, I'll tell you, I can't lie to you. The first thing I thought about was 2017. And like I feel like a terrible person, but like really, you were on the 2017 team, and then you immediately or not long after leave to go play for a different team. You lose all the hype, and then the only team you want to go back to is one where you knew what pitch was coming. I, I don't know. I maybe I need to have a better mindset, but I mean, and I don't think he's gonna. That's why he's going there. I just think it's kind of ironic that, like, despite all the scandal, he genuinely enjoyed his time in Houston that much. I think it's just pretty funny. Um, yeah, they're running it back, trash cans and all. That's the next trade you're
All
going
right,
to see. The Phillies have traded Max Kepler to or the and four trash cans in exchange for somebody.
all right. We got 1 more minute remaining until the deadline. Actually, we have 30 seconds, which doesn't exactly mean much because some more things could come after the deadline. 25 seconds now. I got the timer up on my screen, but Eugenio Suarez as well, a big one. Phillies were seemed to be very big, very highly in those, which would have been interesting. You get the third baseman, Bohm can move to first, Bryce back to the outfield. Didn't take a ton of sense. Didn't make a ton of sense for the Phillies to do it, but would have
Mm-mm.
been cool. 4, 3, 2, 1. It is 6 o'clock, and the
And the
deadline
phones have all hung
is
up.
up. Yeah, phones. Everyone's cut off now, but some stuff will still pass by for another 30, 45 minutes. Um, here you go. Here's a trade post deadline with the Yankees getting Camilo Doval from the San Francisco Giants. Giants,
Hmm.
they've had a pretty weird season. They trade for Rafael Devers and then just kind of fall off the face of the earth. They trade two big bullpen guys. So
Yeah, well,
Yankees
that's
still
another one to
coming
add to our
through.
list, right, Ben? Duvall. I mean, like,
Yeah, there you go.
yes. I mean, and now they've got him on top of Bednar. That's a scary back end of the bullpen.
Yeah.
And those
Well,
two
they
are both very different pitchers, the way they approach batters, um, which is going to make it very challenging to see in that eighth and ninth inning against New York.
Yeah, good thing we don't have to play the Yankees again unless we meet
Mm.
them in late October, which doesn't seem likely considering um, they're they're very injured right now with Judge, some other stuff. But
But you
yeah,
know what?
so
If we get there, I won't complain.
no, I certainly will not, and I'm sure the Yankees would not as well. So there's some guys that are not going to get traded. This one big did not trade Mackenzie Gore. He is still a member of the Washington Nationals for now. Luis Robert as well, not getting moved once again. And well, as of now, Stephen Kwan is
Yeah, I was
still a
gonna
member
say.
of the Cleveland Guardians, which just seems very not real considering how many rumors there were around there. Oh, here you go. Here's another member of the Minnesota Twins that has been traded that the Phillies were around. This was my guess of the guy the Phillies would
Oh,
get.
Griffin Jacks.
Griffin
Yeah.
Jacks, yeah, to the Tampa Bay Rays. So some more stuff still filing in. And here is the final draw
Class
via
A.
no.
I'm surprised he hasn't gotten dealt either.
Well, he probably bet on himself to not be traded. Guardians are not trading Stephen Kwan. This is via Zach Measle of the Athletic.
Mm.
So Phillies miss out on both of the big name outfielders that were available, Luis Robert and Stephen Kwan, but so did everybody.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So
That many other 29 teams.
yeah, so that's one guy that stays. It's kind of weird that both of those guys didn't get moved. There's so much going on around them. Um, but
I'm not surprised about Robert. Quan a little bit, but I mean they're both young guys, and I think that they're pretty storied within their teams. They've both been there for a while. They're guys who are selling uh, tickets to the ballpark, so it kind of makes sense to me why they would keep them. Um, Especially, I mean, the Guardians could be competitive in the next year or two, and it seems like White Sox are never. I mean, they talk about it every year, getting rid of Luis Robert, getting rid of Luis Robert, and they never do. 2025, here we are. It's just like what the third year in a row now, and we're still waiting.
and the Phillies seem to be involved in it every single
Yeah,
time.
every year. Yeah.
Um, yeah. So yeah, the two biggest names on the Phillies board do not get moved. But it seems like we can call it as it is. The Phillies deadline is over. It's 6:04. And it's probably just Duran and Bader, which I mean, it's good but not great, is what I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely a different approach that we've seen the Phillies take. I mean, in years past, well, don't forget about David Robertson, but I guess it's not a trade deadline acquisition, but it's a acquisition around the trade deadline. Um, it is interesting because we've seen in years past they take quantity over quality, and it seems like this year they went for the opposite. They wanted to put all of their marbles um, into one basket and take that elite closer in Duran, opposed to getting, the one year they went out and got like three mediocre bullpen. I can't remember what year it was. They got Workman, they got Hembry, and they got Phelps. That's what it was. We're like three mediocre guys who didn't make that much of an influence. Um, there was one year they went out, they got Marsh, Robertson, Sosa, and I actually think there was a fourth, but I can't remember who it was. So
Syndergaard,
yeah, oh my God, you're
yeah,
right.
20,
So
2022.
four guys who, beside Marsh, really aren't making that much of a difference on your club. Um, so this year they say, okay, we're gonna go out and get this guy who we know is gonna be elite in the bullpen, and that does definitely differ from what they've done, like I said, the past few years. Um, I prefer this over. I mean, would you agree this is a better deadline than they've had the past few years?
This is the closest to an all-in deadline as there's ever been. And
Yeah.
when you look at the guys that didn't move, as in Stephen Kwan and Luis Robert, who else are you supposed to go out and get?
Right, and,
Like
like, even
those
looking
are the two
yeah, yeah.
those are the two big name outfielders for the Phillies to go out and get.
Right, and looking at
They
the
get
other
moved.
guys who did get moved, a lot of them don't fit the profile that the Phillies are looking for. Maybe you can make a case for Ramon Laureano, who did end up getting dealt, I think you said to the Padres. Um,
Yes.
he's having a weirdly good year for Baltimore after barely making major league rosters for a couple of years. He's hitting 290 with 15 home runs. Um, he is the right-handed bat, so it could make sense for the Phillies, but beside him, I wrote down all the trades that were made before this podcast, and there really aren't many guys who I'd be thrilled to see on this Phillies team beside probably Ramon Laureano of the ones who got dealt.
Yeah, I was big on Loriano coming into the day. Felt like he was kind of your not your best option, but a guy who would serve you well for not breaking the bank either. Um, but this is what we got, and at this, it's really it is what it is what you can say. But a big thing, Phillies kept three players that they wanted to keep. They kept Andrew
Yep.
Painter, they kept Aiden Miller, and they kept Justin Crawford. And Painter and Crawford are two guys that could help you out this season. So when you think about it, of course, the trade deadline, you bring in inside talent to help you out. They got two guys right here that can help them out this season. And I know that I said on just an episode or two ago that I want the Phillies to go out and not get rid of these guys, but use them to their advantage, trade them, bring in somebody with high profile like Stephen Kwan or like Luis Robert or Eugenio Suarez, a guy that would help them out, and it just it just didn't happen. And they have put them in as a possible trade? Yes. Could they have not have? They probably did it. We have no idea, but they have them in house right now, and they could help them out by the end of the season.
Right. And to your point, if you're not going to make that move, like, it's 6:09 right now. Okay, they didn't make the move. But use the guys you have, take a risk, and use them to their advantage. Because I hate to say it, but if we're gonna win the world, I mean, we've said this so many freaking times on this podcast. If they're gonna win, it's gonna be this year. And if it's not gonna be this year, it might be next year. And if it's not next year, dump everybody and we'll try again in 5 years. If they're going to win, it's gonna be now. So take a gamble, use the guys we have. You got Painter, you've got Crawford. They could make an impact. I think Painter more than Crawford. I don't think Crawford's ready yet. I think you keep him on a very short leash. And if he doesn't stand out as the clear option in center field, left field, right field, wherever you will feel like putting him, probably center field, um, then just send him back down to AAA. But there's no harm in that, right, Ben? It's July 31st. If you put Justin Crawford out in center field for 2 weeks, it's not going to kill you.
It won't. And the Phillies are done. Matt Gelb says Duran and Bader are the ones moved. And when you look at the outfielders that were moved, the Phillies debatably got a top three outfielder that was moved this
Yeah, they did.
deadline. Like Bader, of course, Loriano and Mullins are up there, and Alex Call, Slater, like Outman, Grichuk. These guys, and nobody really here is moving the needle that was
Right. I
traded
mean, and a
in
lot
the
of these
outfield.
guys are
So
just not bringing you like Randall Grichuk, not bringing anything. Jesus Sanchez does not fit this Phillies team's profile. They do not need another low average, high power guy in this lineup. They need someone to get on base for the Bryce Harpers and the Kyle Schwarbers and the Trey Turners who are going to hit doubles and home runs to get them in. Especially because we don't have any spots open in the 4 hole, the 3 hole, the 4 hole, or the 5 hole to stick a power hitter. They're not going to be doing any good at number eight. Number eight, number nine right now need to be guys who get on base for the top of the lineup, is what we need to see.
Yeah, I mean, baseball, it's a weird baseball deadline for guys being moved and guys not being moved. But and meanwhile, you got the Minnesota Twins. Look at the Minnesota Twins. Look at
Mm.
how much they lost since Monday. One, two, three, four, five, nine players. And all of them are on the higher level.
Decent. Yeah, like I mean, I really want to understand that when the Twins had these nine guys in their team, like how did they only manage to win 51 ball games? Like I it looks like they've got a pretty solid bunch right there. So, I want to know what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's gonna play. Like I like it's
That's
Byron
actually
Buck. It's literally Byron Buxton and friends. Like this is
you can't even
it's
say
ridiculous.
friends. Byron Buxton and his new
And
friends.
and
Who's their
people.
AAA team? Like, is there anybody?
No, no.
Well, I'm curious now because like some of these AAA teams are stacked with like retired MLB players. Like, are we gonna see like a throwback? It'll be oh my God, who's the guy who goes on John Boy? Why can't I think of his name?
Trevor Plouffe?
Yeah, we're gonna see like Trevor Plouffe out there back on the diamond.
You might. And also you think about guys that are going to be going into this bullpen, and help coming back into the rotation. Aaron Nola is going to have his rehab start tomorrow. Tomorrow, Andrew Painter, as we said, Justin Crawford, Jose Alvarado will be in the bullpen for a month and a half, and he will get. He will. I mean, you can laugh, but he will help. It's
Have
better
we
than
seen
Seth
him?
Johnson. We have not seen him.
Max Lazar, yeah. And now it's funny because I just went and checked for the St. Paul Saints. What the? That's the worst name ever.
That sucks.
No wonder the Twins are terrible. Um, you know who they have on their minor league team? Do you remember from the Marlins, Jose Urania, starting pitcher?
That guy's still playing.
Yeah. See, this is what we're gonna see. Who else they got down here? Hmm, not a ton of Oh well, they've got um
Anyway, some other guys, David Robertson, we
James
mentioned.
Outman,
Jesus
of
Lazardo
course.
will go to the bullpen for the postseason, most likely. Um,
Hmm.
so, the Phillies improved,
Yeah,
which is
absolutely.
which is what the deadline's about.
Yep. Oh, they've got Erasmo Ramirez too. Who did he play for? I don't even remember.
Another trade leaking through here. Mike Yastrzemski going to the Royals.
Ah, I forgot about him.
Hmm.
Baby Yaz.
Yeah, I like them being with the Giants, but here's what it is. Cleveland Guardians just claimed Carlos Hernandez. If you're wondering, remember him?
Oh God, I do. Yeah. Wow. What's
I
their
don't,
plan
I
with
don't,
him?
I don't know, but I want to forget him. But anyway, the deadline is up. Phillies ultimately walk away with Juan Duran and Harrison Bader. Colin, if you had to give a grade to Dave Dombrowski in the front office, what would you give him?
A minus. So I think my take on it right now is if you told me, you know, a week ago, the Phillies would go out and get mm, the best closer on the market, I would say there's no way. They'll go out and get like a mediocre seventh or eighth inning relief pitcher, but they're not going to go out and get, a Duran, a Clase, a Bednar level closer. There's no chance. Miraculously, they did. I think we expected to get a slightly better option for our right-handed outfield bat, but in the long run, you need a good closer. It's a guy who can lock down the ninth inning every time, and they got that. And there aren't many teams who can say that they have that guy on their squad. So I think Dombrowski and company did a good job. So I'll give him an A minus.
I'll go with the B plus.
Okay,
When you look at
that's
the
fair.
I more for like Duran is great, of course. Bader is fine, I guess you could say. When you look at the outfielders that were moved, but there just seems to be more to desire with the Phillies right now. I mean, like the bullpen, of course, improved with the addition of Duran. Starting rotation can't get much better. Offense kind of stalemate, which is which kind of seemed like the number one thing that needed to be addressed outside of course, the bullpen, back into the bullpen. But the offense is has been pitiful at multiple occasions over the last month and a half. And the only way you add to it is with Harris and Bader. Um, and really, it leaves a little bit like feel like some more could have and should have been done to address the offense in the outfield. But when you look at who else was moved around baseball, like you know, not not much, but just feels like the
No,
Phillies.
it's nothing.
Yeah, but really, it just Bader and Duran. There was more out there. I feel like the Phillies. This doesn't scream to me that the Phillies are going for it all in 2025. But
That's fair.
they did. But they did what they could, and they got the B plus.
Yeah. And again, I feel like we can't overlook how good Duran is. 2.01 ERA. He struck out 53 in 49 innings. His Do you know what his take a guess, Ben? Average fastball velocity.
99.6.
100.2.
Wow.
Do you know what percentile that's in?
98.
100. Yeah, I mean his
Yeah.
expected ERA in the 94th percentile. This is the most impressive stat because like for me, this is the kind of stuff that tells you how good a pitcher is. His barrel percentage is in the 99th percentile. 3%. If he faces 100 batters, only 3 of them catch a barrel. That's ridiculous. I mean, it really is insane. Because I mean, that's the whole goal of pitching is for the ball to miss the bat or for the ball to hit the bat and not in a spot where they can't hit it hard. And that's exactly what he does in the top 1%. So it really does
Uh,
not get better than him in the back end of the bullpen.
yeah, it's just this
I am excited.
offense. Yeah, I'm excited for Duran. Um, I just this the offense feels the same as it has been the last two seasons. Just doesn't feel like anything improved in the offensive statics, except if you're playing a lefty, you're going to have Harrison Bader out there, which really doesn't move the needle. So the Duran trade is huge, but the Bader outfield aspect really leaving some to be desired. But with what else there was really when you look at what else they could have done at this deadline, not many people were budging. So of course you could have moved one of your top guys in uh, Crawford, Painter, Miller, but Phillies
Yeah.
still reluctant to do it, and hopefully at one of the three, hopefully we'll be able to help them down the road this season. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I know we didn't talk about it a bunch, but a little update on our friend David Robertson down in Lehigh Valley. His first start, he threw a scoreless inning. He allowed 3 hits in the inning, um, but he managed to escape it unscathed. And then he threw 3 days later against Worcester. He threw an inning, allowed 1 hit, also did not allow any runs. Um, but he's got 2 scoreless innings for Lehigh Valley. So we'll see how that translates to the major leagues. He has been low. I mean, we know we're not going to get a lot of velocity from him, right? I think that's an expectation at this point. Um, but he seems to be locating the ball well. You might argue too well because he seems to be very in the strike zone. Um, he did leave some pitches out over the plate. Um, I'm actually watching or rewatching his scoreless inning now. Um, it seemed like his stuff it had the break, it just doesn't have the location yet. Um, on those off-speed pitches, I mean, everything's just middle, which is not going to work at the major league level. Um, so hopefully he can get a feel for those. And those types of pitches, the only way you can get a feel for them is by throwing them to hitters consistently. So that's something that will get better as he progresses up to the big league level. Um, but I guess two scoreless innings, can't complain too much. Um, your job is to keep runs off the board, and he's gotten that done two times out of two so far.
Yep, and we'll see Nola's rehab start on Friday in one
Yep.
of the doubleheader games with the Iron Pigs. And Duran will be available out of the bullpen Friday for the Phillies, along with Bader should be available Friday
And in the lineup.
in the Detroit Tigers
Hmm.
series. Phillies face Tariq Skubal on Saturday. Skubal versus Wheeler on Saturday,
Ooh,
which is really fun. I don't know if you like pitching like I do. There's nothing better. Like we're the 2025 baseball fan is more looking for the homers, but when you can get the two best pitchers in baseball facing each other in the same game, it doesn't get better than that. And that'll
I
be
agree a
Saturday, but
110%.
yeah, Friday pregame, Jimmy Rollins getting inducted to the Wall of Fame, along with Ed Wade, which is awesome. And Dick Allen will be honored on Saturday pregame as he is finally in the Baseball Hall of Fame. And then Sunday is alumni Sunday night baseball. So big series against Detroit, who came into this, were kind of out of the break, not great, but they've won four straight, so definitely not a team to mess around with. Meanwhile, the Phillies, we didn't talk about it at all. Had a meh. You could the highs were high and the low was low in their road trip. You get the series win against the Yankees, offensive explosion Friday and Saturday. Sunday, not so much. And then you go to Chicago, play the White Sox, who have been playing well since the break. And I mean, Monday or Tuesday night was great. Jesus Luzardo pitched amazingly, which was great to see. But I mean, that Wednesday night game, 9-3 loss coming out of that 3.5
Brutal.
hour delay, just it doesn't get worse.
No, it doesn't. It really was a confusing 6 games, Ben. I can't lie. And I mean, you said it earlier with the Bednar, we're talking Yankees World Series, all this stuff. But beating the Yankees, I don't care about injuries, Anthony Volpe being terrible, any of that. Like, beating the Yankees are a good team. Beating them is still an impressive feat. And then going and letting the White Sox get their 40th win, I just don't understand. I can't
Yeah,
wrap my head around that. Like these teams that don't even have 40 wins are the ones that we should be stomping on and not looking back. And they can't seem to do that. And I don't get why. I've got nothing for you. I wish I had some cool words of wisdom, but I don't.
yeah, it was definitely weird, and hopefully, coming out of the deadline, hopefully that'll help a little bit. You got the Tigers. You're coming to the end finally of this crazy seven straight series against American League opponents. Finally, we're coming towards the end of it. It has been far too long of it, but you got Detroit, of course. Hold on. You got Detroit for three, as we said. And then you got Baltimore for three. And then you got Texas for three. And then we're done with the American League. So another week of American League play, and then you go to Cincinnati to Washington, and then you're back home. That is in mid-August already. We are coming into August of the baseball season, so it's
Hmm.
getting real. It is
Yeah.
definitely getting real, and there's no better place to follow along with it than the Bell Ringers podcast on Phillies sports reports.
This is true.
So make sure you stick along. So yeah, Phillies deadline, Juwan Duran, which is I think I mastered the pronunciation. Juwan Duran.
I can't say it. I just say his
It's
last name.
Jahan Duran. And it's not Duran, it's Duran.
Mm, is it really?
Yeah.
They sound the same to me. And I even listened to the pronunciation of it. As if Duran, 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 Duran.
It's Duran.
When you say it fast enough, they sound the same. But I mean, it's not like when you're talking to this guy's face, so I guess that's good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one day we will be.
I hope so. So, Duran, Duran. Okay, that's not as hard as I did try a couple times, and I just sounded ridiculous. So that's probably. I have to like think about it before I say it, which is annoying, but we'll get there.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
Jahan
I've got
Duran.
time.
All right, here's the big name players not traded today: Stephen Kwan, Sandy Alcantara, Edward Cabrera, Mitch Keller, Luis Robert Jr., Mackenzie Gore, Zach Gallen, Joe Ryan, Dylan Cease, Marcel Ozuna, Rafael Iglesias, Luis Severino, Jeffrey Springs, and Nolan Arenado.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot on there who never. I mean, Arenado never gets traded. Alcantara never gets traded. They've talked about that forever. He's gonna die in Miami. Like, I guess that was a little brash, but I mean, that guy, he wins a Cy Young, and then he hasn't pitched the same since. And they say they're gonna. I mean, he probably could use a nice change of scenery, but the Marlins have just never been managed well. Um, and it seemed like they kind of did find a decent GM in Kim Ng, and then they fired her. So who knows? But
Brewers did finally make a trade just coming in. They've acquired Diamondbacks reliever Shelby Miller, who is currently on the IL but is planning to return soon. So Brewers, they make a move
Shelby
after all.
Miller. See the guy
Yeah,
with the big beard?
I'm not sure. 30 minutes later. So,
Let me look.
um, yeah. So Phillies, I give them B plus. You go with the A minus.
Yeah, why not? Oh wow, he's
All
having
right.
a really good year. 1.98 ERA from Shelby Miller. I
So
missed
where were the
that.
Phillies with Shelby Miller?
I don't know. That's a wonderful question. Yeah, 40 strikeouts and 36 in the third innings. 1.98 ERA, 1.7 WAR, a whip under one. They should have been all over that. This guy has also been on what the maybe Cardinals, Braves, Diamondbacks, Rangers, Cubs, Pirates, Giants, Dodgers, Tigers, Diamondbacks, and where did he just get traded to?
Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's like his ninth team. What in the world? That sounds exhausting. I don't think I have. I'm not cut out for that life. Like I was thinking about this earlier when we were talking about is it Taylor Rogers who got traded from
Yeah, Tyler.
um it was
Tyler.
Tyler?
Tyler.
I
Or
thought
Taylor
no,
Rogers. Taylor.
yeah,
Taylor. Yeah, you're
Tyler
right.
went to New York. Taylor,
Yeah, Taylor. Yep.
I mean that poor guy went. And what about the kid from um Jeremy Villiola? I mean 16 years old. I mean that trade's got more of an impact on his parents than it does on him. He's got to move because I mean he plays for the Florida Complex League. It's his first year in rookie
Mm.
ball, so he's got to move from Clearwater 2 hours north to Fort Myers, where the Twins play. I mean that must suck.
Yeah,
Unless they like promote him, I don't know.
I don't. I
But
don't know. We'll see.
when you're 16, I mean he's not going to the big leagues anytime
He's
soon.
younger than
So
us.
he is. I mean,
That's
you know
crazy.
the guy who got drafted first overall is younger than us. Or actually, I don't
Barely
know. He
older.
might be.
He's barely older than us.
Oh, he's
He's
younger than
turning
me.
18. Really? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
his
Well,
birthday's in
he
October.
graduated.
No, they must have a different cutoff. His birthday's in October, I believe. He's definitely younger than me.
You might be younger than me. That's crazy.
Yep.
Anyway, Duran and Bader are now members of the Philadelphia Phillies. They both should be active Friday. For the number of people, Bader will be wearing number 2, Duran in number 59, and Rob Thompson, who was formerly wearing 59, is getting moved, or he is changing numbers to 49. Twins implode. Mets have a competitive deadline. Um, is it better than the Phillies? Kind of similar. I guess they
Very
had more
similar.
income. They had more guys come in: Gregory Soto, Tyler Rogers, Ryan Helsley, Cedric Mullins. But the Phillies have more guys from inside that could come in than the Mets did. Padres absolutely win the deadline.
Oh, by
Just a
by a
heck of a
mile.
day.
And
Mason
we
Miller,
we
Ryan
kind of glossed
O'Hearn,
over it, but they right at the end they also got
Cortez, Nestor
Mr.
Cortez.
Cortez, yeah, which is a big
Eugenio
acquisition.
Suarez to Seattle. Carlos Correa goes back to the Astros. And then Stephen Kwan, Luis Robert stay put. I give the Phillies a B plus. Colin gives them an A minus. And I mean, this is probably the best deadline since David Dombrowski came in,
Yeah, I
which
think
doesn't
so.
say much.
Maybe the March deadline was decent, but again, that we talked about this earlier was quantity over quality there.
Yeah.
So they got some innings, they got some hits, but this is some real, I mean, a real player who's going to make a significant impact.
Now, when you look at the Ron, is this the biggest incoming trade deadline acquisition since I don't even know. I mean, maybe Marsh since he's been around for so long, but he was kind of younger. This is a proven. Duran's proven.
Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe
Is it like did we go back to Hunter Pence and Roy Oswalt?
yeah, I mean I at least if you're looking at attempted, I mean Wilson Ramos was pretty hyped up when the Phillies traded for him in I think 17. So I mean he was one of the best catchers in baseball. He was an all-star that year, but he was not good in Philadelphia. Um
Yeah, that 2018 they got him. They got
I was
Asdrubal
18.
Cabrera, Jose Bautista as well was in
Yeah.
that deadline. They got all the washed guys in that deadline.
Mm-hmm. They did. But yeah, that was when Ramos was hitting like 300 that year. He came to Philly and hit like 220. So, but yeah, I think you might be onto something with the Pence and the Oswald.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that it's been that long. But
Oh yeah.
all right,
Okay.
well,
Well,
thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring the Bell Ringers podcast. Make sure to use code Philly Sports Report to save $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. Colin, PHILLYSPORTSREPORT. What are we doing with that S?
hold the S, Ben. Put it in the box and trade it before 6 p.m. Eastern on July 31st to somewhere nowhere near here. We don't need it.
Minnesota Twins would trade that S for a bag of chips. Tell you that because that's what
Yeah.
they did. Twins did a lot of trading over the last couple of days. Um, thank you all of you for tuning in to this live stream of the Bell Ringers podcast, and we'll see you around. Go
Yeah. Go
Phils.
Phillies.